What up, YouTube? G4Leader here once again, and today's video is viewer's choice. So I'm just gonna be answering a question. So this question and answer is the topic to this video. They asked me, how do I feel about long distance relationships and do I think they can work? And pretty much this is a hard question, only because it depends on your situation. Like, say for an example, you know the person, you got comfortable with them, but they moved a long distance away, you know. And under that circumstance, yes, I think it could work, you know. It's going to be harder, you know, and only if the separation is temporary. It got to be a temporary separation. So if it's long distance, if it's longer than, if you're gonna be apart for longer than a year, you might as well just break it off. It ain't gonna work, because like I said, human beings are naturally curious and naturally insecure. You know, the moment someone gets lonely, you know, that's it, you know, and you can't be there for that person all the time. You know, y'all got separate lives in different places. But like I said, under this circumstance, it can work, long as it's not longer than a year separation. Another circumstance is you've been dating, but you've been online dating, as they call it, you know, online dating, texting, you know, calling, but y'all haven't had that much interaction together and that much physical interaction. In this case, it's best not to get too attached. Don't get too drawn into this relationship, because it won't work. You know, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're in this situation, it's not going to work. To have a functioning relationship that works properly, physical attention needs to be there. You need to be able to kiss this person. You need to be able to hug this person, hold this person, get comfortable with this person. Excuse my language. You need to be able to fuck this person, you know. You gotta have that be comfortable with this person for it to be a blossoming, real relationship that functions properly, you know. Especially if it's just you live here, they live here, you know, and you don't know when y'all will see each other. Y'all gotta make extended plans month in advance. You know, it's not worth it. You know, you put all your time and effort, one slip up, that could fuck up your whole relationship. So if you are in this situation, I advise you can remain friends with this person, but don't invest your heart into this person. Both of you live your own separate lives, and eventually if one of you makes that move closer, then at least since you stayed friends, there's a possibility that possibility is still there for you. But don't ever go into it saying we in love, we trying to do this, we gonna try to make it work, because you just straining your relationship, and most likely in the end you both gonna end up hating each other, because that resentment gets built up. You holding me back from doing this, you holding me back from doing this, I don't know what she doing, I don't know what he doing, and that resentment build up, and that resentment comes out in multiple ways, whether it's cheating, lying, just starting arguments, you know. So you don't want to go through that. So G4Leader's advice is stay friends, keep that possibility open. If one of you ever make that move, just keep that possibility open, remain friends, but just don't invest too much into it, and just have your own separate lives, you know. That's all I can say. I hope this was helpful. I mean, if you got your own input, hit me in the comments down below. So G4Leader here, I'm signing off. Peace, guys.